Hi there, welcome back to our tutorial series on YouTube brought to you by O3 Schools JAMB app. And for those of us that are hearing about the O3 Schools JAMB app for the first time, O3 Schools JAMB app is an app designed specifically for students. You know, it contains a classroom feature, there are past questions, and there's also a weekly challenge every Saturday. So do yourself a favor and download the app today. Now let's get back to our class for today. The topic is parental responsibility. So parental responsibility we said they are the duties parents, let's say slash guardians now, owe their children or wards. So parental responsibilities, these are duties parents or guardians owe the children or wards under them. It is the authority that parents have to make favorable decisions. These decisions have to be in favor of the child. So it is the authority that they have, that parental responsibility. It gives them that right to make good decisions in the upbringing and care of children. Ordinarily, parents should take care of their children, emotionally, physically, mentally, morally, financially, to the best of their ability. A parent's responsibility to a child doesn't just end with the provision of food, shelter, clothing, and education. No, parents have to spend time with their children, take time to guide them in building their character. Not just that, Christians believe that children are gifts from God. So it therefore makes it a divine duty for parents to bring up their children in godly ways. If parents don't carry out their responsibilities to their children effectively, they risk being punished by God. Now let's examine some parents in the Bible. First parent we'll look at is Eli. And the story of Eli is in the book of 1 Samuel, I think from chapter 1 to 3 or so. Eli was the priest in Shiloh. And he had two sons. Hophni and Phinehas. Sorry. Hophni and Phinehas were the two sons of Eli the priest. When Eli was old and his children took over, the children did not walk in the way of the Lord. They tampered with sacrifices offered to God. They sent their servants to forcefully collect shares of sacrifices that were ordinarily meant to God. Sacrifices that were ordinarily meant for God. They sent their servants to forcefully take any part of it that they liked. And even when the people refused to, hand over, the servants took it by force. Also, they laid with women who assembled at the door of the tabernacle. Eli heard of all his sons did, and he tried to caution them, but he was already old. And God also hardened their hearts because he has already decided to destroy the sons of Eli. God then sent a man of God to warn him and tell him about the bad behavior of his children and the consequences. First, God said, Eli's descendants will not live till old age. Eli's descendants would not live till old age. And two, they will no more be priests of God. So that priesthood was removed from the family of Eli just because of the attitude of the children. So God told Eli that the consequences will be that his descendants would not live to old age and his family will no more be God's priest. And God said the sign of this punishment would be that Eli's two sons would lose their lives on the same day. And that was exactly how it played out. Hophni and Phinehas died on the same day in battle with the Philistines. And then the ark of God was also captured. When the news was told to Eli, he fell down and he broke his neck. Thus, Eli and his two sons died on the same day due to the bad attitude of Hophni and Phinehas. And their attitude can also be traced to the lack of parental responsibility Eli displayed. Another parent we'll look at in the Bible is Samuel. Also documented in the book of 1 Samuel. From the book of 1 Samuel. Let's put it that way. But before we examine Samuel's parental responsibility, we look at Samuel's background. Samuel was the son of Hannah and Elkanah. Elkanah had two wives. One was barren and the other had children. Hannah was the barren one, and the one with children taunted and mocked Hannah. Also, in those days, they usually headed to Shiloh yearly to worship and offer sacrifices to God. So on one of their visits, Hannah made a vow to God that if God would give her a child, she would give the child back to God. And God did. God answered her prayers. She gave birth and named her child Samuel. After she had weaned him, she took him up to the priest, Eli now. She took him to Eli and told him of her vow and how she was dedicating Samuel to worship God. So Samuel now lived with Eli. Now, when Eli was old and his sons sinned against God, remember, God punished him. God said his descendants would not live till old age and his family will no more be God's priest. So God now called Samuel. Samuel judged Israel until his old age, and then he handed over to his sons. Samuel's two sons were Joel. Samuel's two sons were Joel and Abijah. So when Samuel was old, he handed over to his two sons, Joel and Abijah. But Joel and Abijah did not walk in the ways of their father. They didn't follow Samuel's footsteps. They took bribes and they perverted justice. This made the children of Israel cry to Samuel for a king. They rejected Samuel's sons and asked for a king instead, just like other tribes around them. And although Samuel was unhappy and displeased about his son's attitude and the people of Israel wanting a king, he prayed to God and God told him to actually anoint a king for the children of Israel. Now it is clear that Eli and Samuel lacked parental responsibility. They did not take out time to teach their children, especially Eli. Eli cautioned his children in his old age when he lacked the youth and strength to actually follow up with his children's upbringing. So these two people lacked parental responsibility in the Bible. So we've just looked at parental responsibility and we looked at two parents in the Bible that lacked parental responsibility. We'll now head over to the O3 Schools JAMB app to check out some questions that have been asked on this topic. Take note, if you download the O3 Schools JAMB app, you can actually search for past questions based on topics that you have studied and you want to, test your knowledge. You can search for it. And before then also, please don't forget to like this video and comment your questions down below if you have any. Also, subscribe to the channel, please, so you can get notified. Now, here's a question from 2021. Eli's lack of parental responsibility led to all the following except A, the death of his two sons, B, the recovery of the ark, C, the capturing of the Ark of Covenant, D, the death of Eli himself. It led to all of this except the recovery of the ark. Here's a 2017 question. These are the names of Samuel's children. A. Hophni and Phinehas. B. Joel and Abijah. C. Manasseh and Ephraim. D. Asher and Jehoshaphat. Hophni and Phinehas are the sons of Eli. Joel and Abijah are Samuel's children. Manasseh and Ephraim are the children of Joseph. And then Asher and Jehoshaphat are father and son. So the two sons of Samuel are B. Joel and Abijah. That's it for this class. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next class where we'll also examine other parents in the Bible.